A school board candidate in Illinois slamming her own school district's curriculum as harmful to her children. Ndona Muboyayi is telling The Atlantic that parts of the Evanston, Illinois curriculum teach black children that they can't get ahead due to white supremacy. And she joins us right now from Evanston. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I know that you grew up in Evanston and you moved your family back a couple of years ago. And what did you discover about what they were teaching the kids in the schools?
Well, upon my return to Evanston, I learned quickly that the curriculum had changed drastically. No longer were they teaching children basically about history of the world, including the history of African Americans and people of the African diaspora, but they had added something that they called Black Lives Matter curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And within that curriculum, it speaks about, it's only during 1 week long, and it speaks about white supremacy, and it speaks about white privilege, and a number of negative things that have happened to African Americans within this country. But it doesn't speak about when African Americans have fought against white supremacy or fought against oppression. Right. So it was very much speaking about the one side, a very negative side, and,
sure.
and nothing really about, the things that Black people have accomplished in this country.
Well, and you alluded to this. We've got a still frame of part of the curriculum for third graders on Black Lives Matter. And one of the slides says, today I'm going to teach you what the Black Lives Matter means and why it is necessary. What do you think about that?
Well, I do teaching about the ideal of Black Lives Matters, but I also believe that it leaves a lot out. They attempt to cram thousands of years of history of a people into 5 weeks. And within that 5-week period, they tend to focus mainly on atrocities. Very briefly, do they touch on
right.
When Black people marched or, attempted to fight against injustices, but it speaks mainly about police brutality. There is no balance, really.
Right. And Ndona, I know that you are not happy about the fact that you say they're not, your kids in school are not taught about Black people who accomplish things in spite of what you were detailing there.
Absolutely. I definitely do understand, the many negative things that have happened throughout the history of Black people being in this nation, but they do not speak about the numerous times that African American people have fought against what was, them being oppressed, right. Whether it was during the times of slavery, attempting to free themselves, or even the times where there were many revolts throughout the United States, such as the Stono Rebellion that took place down in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. So stories right. such as that are not told to balance out the narrative that Black people in this country have constantly been beaten down but never risen up.
Right, and that is one of the reasons why you would like to be on the school board and you were fighting for your children each and every day. And Ndona Muboyayi, we thank you very much for joining us today from Evanston.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. By the way, we did reach out to the Evanston Skokie School District for a statement, but they have not yet gotten back to us.